All right. Well, I'm a member of Narcotics Anonymous. And I say that because we're going to look at the steps. And, step one, we admitted that we were powerless over our disease of addiction, that our lives had become unmanageable. I don't even have to say I'm an addict. You know what I'm saying? I don't. Now, of course, you get into the step work, right, which I did. And I always knew I was an addict. Has anybody here been to a meeting on the outside? Has anybody seen the 12 steps? Right? You've seen them on the board. Has anybody worked all 12 of them? Okay. All right. Has anybody worked some of them? Cool. Awesome. I'm going to tell you this. The first time I came in and I saw these 12 steps, for some reason they were bolded to me. I don't know if you all have that perception, but I see them on this and they're bolded. So it's almost like I can envision this book, right? And I'm seeing 12 chapters, right? That's kind of how I saw them and being introduced to them. And I saw that first when we admitted we were powerless over our addiction, that our lives had become unmanageable. But I didn't really know much about what they mean, and I still don't today. So there's this parable, okay? Because for me, I'm always step one, even when I'm not. If I were to choose to use, I'm always step one. I'm step one when I'm out there using. I mean, my life, I was always powerless, right? And my life was always unmanageable. Now, I thought I would have power if I copped a good bag, or if I knew, I hooked up with my boy, whoever's hooking me up, and I had some drugs for a few days. Like I thought I had some manageability going, but I could never maintain anything, whether it be the law or whatever. So I'm always step one. And so there's this parable for me that really resonates with step one and me coming to Narcotics Anonymous, okay? I don't know if you've heard it. So there's two roses, right? And they're beautiful. This one rose is a vibrant, beautiful rose, right? I mean, it is just gorgeous, man, self-sufficient, and it is a strong rose, okay? And then there's this other rose, it is broken in half, right? It's just like it's limp, okay? And so there's this gardener that comes, and this could be step 2 and 3, I don't know, hopefully we get there, right? And this gardener comes and tapes it and puts a stint, right? And so on the outside, you're like, ugh. Look at that rose. Like, geez, looks like a dang handicapped rose, right? Look at it. It's being held up. It's being supported. And then next to it is this beautiful, vibrant rose, right? And then, of course, a hurricane comes, and the hurricane comes and just throws everything around. And then, of course, there's one rose that's standing, right? And it's the one that's being supported, the one that was held up. And so, like, that's definitely me with step one. Coming in. I mean, look, you can lie to me, but I knew the first time I smelled weed at 5 years old, it was wrong. I knew the first time I used. I knew. I'm not dumb. Now, did I know and did I expect it to play out the way it did? I didn't. That wasn't my motive. The first time, getting up, I'm like, I'm not going to be a junkie. But I knew I was an addict. I knew. I knew the first time I heard who's an addict. I knew before coming in to NA, young. I knew. So for me, step one was pretty easy, and admitting my life was unmanageable, because I'm always step one. It's going on to step 2 is my true surrender, because I can come in here all day and be like, I need help me. But I mean, I'm talking really surrender and start being teachable, listening to what the other members of Narcotics Anonymous said. Now, I tried to be teachable. I will go to church. I try to listen and be teachable. I'm going to be a real good boy and whatever, God, right? I went to the psychiatrist and always got prescriptions, right? And one thing I will say this, okay? If you're on medication, our book doesn't say the basic text written by clean addicts for clean addicts, right? In fact, it says in there that physical recovery, physical abstinence is mere. Mere is minute, it's small, it's tiny, right? Now, our main goal as addicts, okay, is complete abstinence, right? It's a practice, but it's mere, it's small, and so I don't want anybody to feel like a certain way if they're on medications, okay? But, I would go to the psychiatrist and get medications. I've been on all of them, from lithium to Lexapro to all of them, all the medications, I swear, I've been on all of them. And the problem is, I couldn't take them as prescribed. I just couldn't take them as prescribed. You know, I've been to the courts, right? The jails, institutions, death. I mean, I thought that would get me scared straight. I went to the military. I was like, I can remember I was going to end up doing like 9 months, and then I was like, I'm going to go into the military. And so the dude gave me weekends, right? And then I went into the military thinking that like this geographical change, relationships, right? So it's like I was always step one, but now step two, like I wanted something. We came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. And so I always put church, a doctor, psychiatry, maybe the jails, a relationship. I'm a move, right? That's going to get me there. That's the connection that I need. And then I don't know. Luckily, I stayed alive. And it was like Narcotics Anonymous again. Like the last thing I wanted to do was have to be teachable and listen to what some of these recovering addicts were doing. Because it was like, here I am now, and I know we all know someone that didn't make it into the rooms, right? That has died because of a direct result of the disease of addiction. I mean, we have all died, right? Well, if you work step 11, you may come to realize that you did die. Like, that's how accepting of God. And like, look, I may have overdosed in that life. And hopefully my mom and my sister, hopefully they all cleaned up, and now I'm on this realm and I don't know, right? That's how amazing the steps are for me in my life. But so it's like step 2, I came to believe. I tried all the psychiatry, tried all those things. And what was left was Narcotics Anonymous. And so it was May of 2018. I was still using, and I've been coming in and out for 10 years. Look, when I came in, Joe had 6 or 7 years. So you figure 10 years later, he's on 17. Like, it was the same people that were there when I came back in, the same people, the same message, the same cliches, those same 12 steps. Like nothing really changed, except I guess maybe I was pissed. I was kind of pissed. Like, I had resentments. I was like, all right, well, I'm going to show them. Not that it doesn't work. Well, I'm just going to listen to them. Like, that's how like angry I was that I just couldn't get it. That I was like, all right, fine. I just can't get it. Well, I'm going to listen to them. And so I started coming to meetings, and I'd say from May until August. Well, August 2nd is my clean date in 2018. But from like May 13th, 17th, I'd come in, raise my hand, white key tag every time, still using. Coming to meetings, still messed up. That was my excuse to get out of the house, to get high. Be like, honey, go into a meeting, right? I get all fucked up, go to the meeting. Or, towards the end, I would wait till after the meeting, right? Because I don't know, obviously that seed was planted. We came to believe. If I keep coming back over and over again, I'm going to believe that I have the disease of addiction. And thank God, that's what I needed. Because like, if I wouldn't have done that, I don't know, I wouldn't have all these wonderful opportunities that I've had today. And so we came to believe in what? Well, there's these 12 steps. And then it's like, okay, no duh, I can't use again. Well, alcohol, or how about weed? It's legal. Like, I had to truly accept I can't do it. And it's progressed for me too. It progressed in so many different ways. If I were to smoke, I would have to have a blunt 24 hours a day, from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed, because there's this because I'm admitting to you that I'm powerless over the disease. So as soon as I think that I have power over it, I'm done. It's done. And that's just with drugs. What's great about the program is that when I come back, I realize that, man, there's a lot of other addictions, and the drugs are just a symptom. And so what do I come to believe? All right, this serenity prayer, okay, these spiritual principles that, surrender, acceptance, humility, humbleness being grounded back to earth. Like, do I really know what these spiritual principles mean? I don't. I can sit here and ramble all this courage, perseverance, but commitment. I really don't know. Like, I guess coming into the rooms and listening to y'all, it was like, okay, I'm going to come to a meeting every day. And I just kind of like started putting it in my vocabulary, I guess. Shit. I swear to you, I never I didn't know people volunteered. Like, I really didn't. I mean, I can remember being young and using and thinking I knew everything, but like, I didn't know that like people just volunteer and help people just because they do it. Like, I'm like, dang, really? Also that step 2, there's this, the honesty, open-minded, and willingness. For me, look, I still have an issue with honesty, but I definitely needed to be teachable. So I had to be open-minded and willing. And that set me. I was open-minded and willing. I'm a listen. It wasn't until I get into step 4 and 5 that the honesty really starts to come out. And so what do I believe? Well, I'm hanging out with people that are clean, and I'm not a dumb addict. So I know that if I go and break the law, I'm breaking the law. Like it was, what do I believe? And deep down, I came to believe that I did want to get better. I did. But so many times, I had surrendered to using because it was so easy. I don't know if you've ever heard, they say it's the addict surrender. Fuck it. Right? It's like, boom. And I mean, look, it's hard. Like, shit. There's some wreckage. I mean, the wreckage of my past, the wreckage of our past, that doesn't go away. Like, I swear to y'all, if I had it right here, if I had the answer, if Joe had the answer, like that would be pointless. What would that do if somebody just gave you the lobotomy and you were healed? Like, that's what makes this disease. It's the only disease that when we truly concede and recover, that we're better than we were than when we were born. Some of us, than we were born. Crazy. Step 3, the word God's introduced, right? So it's like, all right, I know I'm an addict no matter what. Let me, step 2, come to believe and listen to what they say. Well, they say 90 and 90. Look, try a meeting a day. What's tough about a 90 and 90 is, okay, great, old timer, you're telling me, are you coming with me? Hey, do 90 and 90. All right, well, are you coming with me? Right? So it's like 1 meeting a day. That's kind of simple for me. And then they said prayer, get on your knees. And I know that, and luckily we don't even bring the word God really until that 3rd step, right? We make a decision, right? To choose to turn our will in our life, or will in our life is our thoughts and our actions, over to, well, a God concept or whatever you want to believe, okay? But you're worthy of having some. How about the gardener? Turn it over to the gardener, right? Or go back to step 2. That's how I've worked step 3. My entire recovery is step 3. Okay, I'll just do step 1 and step 2. And that's step 3 for me. I mean, look, I try to be a real ultra humble dude. So it's like, what do I know about God? All right, well, I'll just shut up in step 1 and step 2. Because Narcotics Anonymous, that support, right? That rose that's broken, that stint is good enough. Man, it's good enough for me, So that's how I have step 3'd my entire recovery. There is trust in that though, right? It's like, I'm trusting. I'm going to keep coming back. Even after 90 days, 120 days, when they say that pink cloud leaves. And look, there's a lot of cliches. I'm here to tell you, look, don't believe that, right? We're worthy of having the greatest clouds and pink clouds forever. But, if we have pink clouds, we're also going to have some big dark clouds too, and there's going to be those days. But so step 3 is this trust. That's what it was for me. Because like I said, step 3, okay, I'm going to do step 1 and step 2 again, which means I'm right here coming to Narcotics Anonymous. I'm coming every day, once a day. I'm going to get on my knees and pray. That's what they told me. I'm going to start working the steps. Okay. I got a sponsor. I'm doing what they tell me. The trust is in that. Now it's step 4. I go back to when I first came in and I saw the 12 steps, right? And they're on this board and it's like, great. I see these headlines and here's this step 4 and everybody talks about step 4, step 4, step 4. I mean, the reality is you all have already done step 4. You already have it. You've done it. You just write it down. And that was like profound. I just got to write it down and then share it with, another recovering addict, especially for dudes. Cause I'm a dude. What we come to find out is we're not that different, especially anything that we thought would be abnormal sexually. It's not. Now there's always somebody that's a little more badass than us. Right. So if it's like, I mean, look, and hopefully by that time you get to step 4, it took me about a year to get there. You will have been ready and found a sponsor. All right. It doesn't mean that the first sponsor you get's got to be the magic one. Kind of like a temp job. I say when you get out of here, make sure you have a temp sponsor. By the time you get to that 4th step, if you're someone that's been to prison or you're someone that's done some hardcore shit, you're going to want to find someone that you can share with. All right. And you'll come to find out you're not that different, or someone's done something a little bit more worse or hardcore than you. As far as with women, I don't know. I mean, that's, but trust the process, because women do recover also, and that's step 4 and 5 together. I kind of look at step 1, 2, and 3 as the bottom piece of a bread, right? Like, boom, that's the bottom piece of the bread. It's the foundation. And I do those pretty much every day religiously. I already know I'm an addict. I work my NA program. That's how I do step 3. And then this step 4 through 9 that we get into is kind of the fixins. And so, step 6 and 7, when I'm in my step 4 and I've answered questions, I start to see things about myself, whether, we call them defects, but then there's also assets. Like, we are all capable, wonderful, loving people, right? That are worthy of so many great things. A lot of it is just being shown and identified with another person that's lived the way that we have and that's felt the way that we have, but then has also been clean for a long time. Like, sharing it with somebody that's using and whose life is a mess, that's not yours, right? It works by sharing it with another recovering addict, okay? And so your sponsor will help you with these defects and these assets. Some say that they're the same thing. They're not, right? Like, the defect is ahead of time, or think of it as the thought or the urge or the desire, maybe even like the sin, if you want to break it down real simple like that, because this is a spiritual program. And then step 7, the shortcoming, would be acting out on it, even if you're, in step 6 aware of it. Step 8, we made a list of all the people that we harm. I mean, look, you're here right now. I mean, you're already doing a majority of these steps, right? I mean, raise your hand if you know the harm that you've done. Yeah. I mean, it's like, and then of course, I'm going to get into step 11, but we prayed to start the meeting. Like, we come to find out that these first 3 steps are kind of getting us into action. They're getting us into place for the maintenance steps, step 10, 11, and 12. But step 8, again, you're just writing a list of people you've harmed, of institutions you've harmed, anything that you're pissed off about, usually it's something to put on there, And in step 9, I mean, look, my sponsor had me scratch out a lot of stuff. It's about being aware, like, I'll just check websites of restaurants I stole from, and just look in on them and see how they're doing, there's all kind of things you can do, right? I mean, it's just being aware. If you hurt an animal or did things, okay, we started adopting a puppy. I feed birds every day, feed birds. Like, there's different things that we're living the program, but it's living the amends already in step 1, 2, and 3. Now, our family, look, people are people. In fact, in the program, it tells us we can't even trust people at the end of the day, right? That's step 3 that I said, when we pull out trust, that's the God, our higher power, we can. But my sponsor's going to let me down. Like, we're going to let each other down all the time. I mean, we're humans, and so it's like, geez. But step 8, again, you're just making a list. You're just being aware. You know whose name, at least on mine, was at the very top? Me. And like, that was where I sobbed, man. Like, look, step 4, I did some crying. And I mean, my step 4 took a while. It took like 3 or 4 sessions, 2 or 3 hours each. Step 8 was short, right? I had this list. I mean, I sobbed. My sponsor was like, why is your name not on the list? And I had to like really put my name on the list and be like, damn, I've been hurting myself. Like, shit, no, like, I mean, I've really hurt me, the little child, that same, because for me, at least, my higher power connection, that connection I have when I pray, now that I'm clean, it's that same voice that I've had my whole life. I don't know if y'all can remember that voice. It's still there. That the me, that it comes back. It's there. It's been there the whole time. I'm like, oh, shoot, there I am. And it's that same, and it's like, man, I got to look at that. Step 9, look, it depends on what your sponsor does. Do we pay back drug dealers? No. I tried. Well, he was a really good guy. he was a really good guy and it was back in the day, right? But it's like, that's not, that's not how it works. If someone's died, I've written a lot of letters and then almost ceremoniously, like, now it's a spiritual program. So fake it till you make it, a little ceremony that I have, I love you, Mom. I hope you're watching over me, whatever. And then, light the paper and let it go, right? Step 10, we continued to take personal inventory. And when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. Like, we're already doing that in step 1, 2, and 3. If you're coming to a meeting every day, like, we're learning how to live a different way. There is this IP, Living the NA program. Man, it's long, it's hardcore, and it's questions like, did I call my sponsor? Did I pray today? Did I meditate? Did I act out on a defect? For me, being a guy or a human in general, lust, right? Like, it's always, and I'm married and I'm not that dude. Like, I am not. I can't even handle myself, right? Thinking that I could be some pimp, but I be thinking. And the reality is, with these defects, kind of like it. Who doesn't like lust, right? And so, there's a lot of things that we come to find out that, man, these defects, we like them. We love them. And so learning how to be human, learning how to admit when we're wrong, right? And not act out on those defects, shortcomings. But again, have I prayed? Have I harmed anybody today? If you're real spiritual, like I would expect Joe to set an alarm twice a day and then call his sponsor and check in with a 10-step inventory. I'm being facetious right now because, it's hard. He's been clean for 20 years. The last thing he wants to do is do this, but it's like, that's how vigilant we could be, right? Is doing 10-step checks in the middle of the day. Step 11, right? Is now we're praying only for the knowledge, right? And the will of this God of our understanding, right? And meditation, you're allowed to. Meditation is listen. I mean, some people say that in the morning when you wake up, if you get on your knees and pray, just stay on your knees a little bit longer, right?
And wait for them.
Yeah. And look, and if you're someone who can't get on your knees and pray, here's what I did. Has anybody smoked crack or done? Not today. But has anybody ever gotten on their knees crawling, not because of that, but crawling on the ground looking for crack on your knees?
Carpet surf.
Look, I have carpet surfed, but God forbid, am I going to get on my knees and just say thank you? Crazy, right? It's crazy because it's hard. Like, I swear to y'all, the 10 years that I came in and out, I would go to bed and then I'd be like, oh, shoot, I forgot to pray. I got to get on my knees. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm not doing it. And I swear I have been non-negotiable with praying on my knees this time around, y'all. It's weird. And I think it's almost like bring the body, the mind will follow, right? And so I'm like, all right, I'll just get on my knees and say thank you. And at the end of the day, enough, thank you. But you'll find your own way. Just know that you're worthy, right, of exploring everything. We're humans on earth. So it's like a lot of us have been tainted by religion. I mean, more than half of the world is religious. I get clean and then I realize that. I'm like, oh yeah, there's 8 billion people on earth. Crazy. Meditation, again, is just listening. Or you could be real deep and be like, life's a meditation, right? I mean, look, we're breathing, right? We're walking. I mean, death is a meditation, right? That's the gift that we have in recovery now. Because I'm telling you this, when I'm using, I'm ripping and running. And I'm only thinking of one thing, getting the next thing, Step 11 really opens me up to think about everyone else. Like Joe said, he loves coming here because he stays late because he loves all of you. Like, that's awesome. That's a meditation. And then step 12. And that's just, I mean, I don't know if you ever heard of it, like doing step 1 and step 12, because technically just showing up for our recovery, like we're doing right now, is a step 12. You're carrying the message to me. We're carrying it to each other. That's a higher power. But then we also try to look for other ways by doing service, still remaining teachable, listening to what some of the other members say that have more clean time, doesn't mean they're right. Just take the suggestion and try it. If it doesn't work, try something else. But I'm going to wrap this up. What I suggest, get out of here, at least get a temp sponsor. Think of it as a job. I swear to you, you know what comes first in my life? This. My wife, my kids, they come, I swear to you, it's weird. And when I do that, the gifts, I swear, y'all, like my wife, man, and we didn't know because we had kids late. She was bleeding out, right? She was pregnant and bleeding. And I didn't know. We were older. I went to my home, bro. I mean, we ended up having 2 children, but it was like that. If I was using and sick, I'd be like, hey, I'll be right back. Or, while she's sick as hell, you're like, oh, you know him. He's coming in. Right? And so it's like, I put my recovery first, and I swear to you, I promise, like, lost dreams will awaken. I mean, the peace, the content, all those things. And it's like, I mean, life's still going to be there. Bills you have to pay if you have court, all that shit. But like crazy miracles happen. I swear to you. Like I was shooting up my mom, they're all dead, right? Smoking crack with my mom and my dad. You ready for this? I'm a PhD. I just got a PhD motherfucking D. Like, and I never thought of that. I had no idea. Like, but that, I swear it was this program. Swear to God. I swear it allowed me to do it. But I swear it's the last thing I want to do is come here or go to a meeting. Like, I swear it's the last thing I want to fucking do. But like, I don't want to have to be in a house, just a mattress, right? Wishing I could get clean again. I don't want to have that feeling again. Dying of the disease when today it's like I can be here and with y'all, even if I got to have that stint looking all handicapped. So look, I love you all. That's what I have. I want to open the floor and let y'all share. Okay. Thank you. I love you.
Thanks for sharing. I can get very interesting. I extremely, as people don't want to come down sometimes, but every time I do, I always want to make people better. Thank you. I just appreciate you sharing it, and how many times that say you swear because you just made me believe it. You can help them. And I just appreciate it.
Thank you. I love you. Thank you.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of you and how far you come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks.
The support system.
Yeah. Well, I can't talk because now I have to believe that if I will use again, like I kept coming back. And so now it's like, well, shit, like I have to believe that, even though I swear to y'all, I know tonight I'm not going to use, but if I were to sit here and be like, I ain't fucking never using again. And there's some cats in NA that can say that. They have 20 years, right? He's like, I ain't never using again. I can't say, I swear I still have reservations. I definitely have reservations.
The one I like is tomorrow I can drink, but not today.
Right? Tomorrow I can drink, but not today. I mean, I don't know. What if the Orioles were to win a World Series? I'm from Baltimore, right? Like, I mean, there's all kind of things. Like, what if, like, and that's another thing in recovery, like bad things happen. Like, look, I have my half sister, fentanyl, my half brother, Scotty, both younger, fentanyl, and it was brutal. Like, he had got clean for a month and then shot up with a cigarette, set himself on fire, didn't feel it, right? But it's like bad things happen in recovery, right? And of course, NA was right there though. Like NA kicked in, people calling, boom, hey, what's up? Boom, hey, what's up? But it's like, what if, and I have 2 children, right? What if we get clean and then shit don't go our way? And it takes 5 or 6 years. You start, it takes a long time and then something bad happens. Like, what if something happens to my wife and my kids? So, fuck. So then it's like the cliche, just for today.
You get drink.
But if like when I'm in active addiction and my drug dealer said that and I knew I could get my shit, I'd be going to NA. I'd be going to NA, with my legs up, woo, working all the steps. It's crazy. It's so crazy because I think because it's a spiritual disease. At least that's what Jelinek says and the early AA boys, right? And then, of course, NA adapted it. They believe in this spiritual disease because it affects us physically, mentally, and in many cases, spiritually, which is kind of why we have to do this. God grant us the serenity or, all this I mean, I guess there's religious connotations, but I think originally the 12 steps were for monks and priests, and there was 6 originally, and then they kind of chopped it to 12. And, look, you figure back in the day too, I mean, we got meetings around here. Like I can just go. I mean, there's like 4 or 5 NA meetings every day. I can just go to meetings. I don't even need to pray, really. I just go to meetings. Back in the day, man, they had like 1 meeting a week. You know what they were doing? Praying. And it's like, and I think that's why it's hard for a lot of us. Because, look, I was pissed at God. Like, I remember writing poems, God's on permanent vacation, right? Like, I mean, I was angry, and so it's like spiritual.
Where'd you get your PhD at?
Pretty heavy druggy. No. So my master's, I got my master's at ODU, which was, it's like lifespan communication. So like from before birth till after death, but it's like, and then my PhD is in prevention science, and that's Wilmington University. That's where Joe Biden, Wilmington, Delaware. Prevention, it's like social psych prevention. So like technically we could build a place like this. I would be kind of like the researcher, and, we would get all the staff and put the theoretical frameworks in place. Yeah, something like that. My PhD was in family members affected by us and looking at what they go through. And yeah, because my whole family, and just because like the family members, check this out. There are, and I've been on look, whenever I use methadone, I always did it with Xanax. Okay. And look, I talk about the drugs, but there are currently right now in the United States of America, over 1,350 SAMHSA certified methadone clinics, but worldwide, there's not even 1,300 Nor-Anon groups. Right? Nor-Anon. So you've heard of Al-Anon, right? Where it's like the family members get to go and recover, right? I release you, or, but then it's like vice versa. You have all of us dying, right? We're dying from fentanyl. We're dying from narcotics, all this stuff. But yet there's nothing in place for the family members. So it's like, that was kind of a thing I wanted to try to do, but I didn't do it. And again, I just showed up, I swear, and recovered, and everything just kind of.
Like what or do?
Yeah.
Dear Lord, G's. Sorry, excuse me. What do you suggest for, hi, I'm Nikki, and I'm not calling. What do you suggest for family members who won't go to Al-Anon? They just refuse.
Some are sicker than others, and it says that in Alcoholics, the Big Book, there are those, right? Unfortunate ones. And it's just not the unfortunate ones like the psychopaths. And look, if you're a psychopath, a sociopath, you cannot recover. Just throwing that out there. But same with the family members, right? If the family member chooses not to recover, they're probably going to be angry, resentful, and look. And it's crazy because I have a Nor-Anon in my family. Well, an Al-Anon. She worked all 12 steps, but she ain't recovered in years. And I mean, she all mad, and she's older. She's always mad. Well, she's flexible. She's real flexible, but she's mad all the time. And so, I just hope I continue to do the next right thing to not anger her. But yeah, I mean, like, and I can't even imagine, like, if you're someone that has to get your kids back or get trust back, like, I don't have that experience. Like, I've somehow, some reason waited and then had this glorious, I shared my 12th step and had my first son, and then had a second son, and I'm 42. So we're done. In fact, I'm getting the old on our anniversary, May 22nd. Okay. It's because I want a big dog. But look, I mean, so I don't know what that's like. Like, there's different levels of hope that we all go through. Like, I had a sponsee, right? He was a nurse. He got caught doing some stuff, but like, man, he got P tested weekly. Like he could keep his license. So he had a lot more initiative to go and do the thing than say, a single parent with 2 kids making $15 an hour, right? Like, shit, that is hard. So there's different levels of adversity that we got to go through. And for those that maybe feel like they're back up against the wall, I would suggest you just dedicate it all to recovery. Like, I swear I've never heard on the news, in other news today, local woman with 3 kids just gets out and was recovering so hard, going to 3 meetings a day. She couldn't pay her bills, and they decided to send it right. Like, I swear, great things happen. Like, if you just get out of here and you just straight go and recover hard, I mean, you're going to find somebody will have a job for you. Somebody's going to have it for you. Like, it's crazy. So it's like, if you're someone that's backed up against that, you shouldn't even worry about nothing except that you got a disease, and the only cure is to get into the program. And not just the program. I mean, look, take your meds as prescribed, right? If you got to see a probation, do everything, but also incorporate some 12-step too. I don't think you can go wrong.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is joking.
Oh,
All right. So who leaves this week? Who gets out? All right. So are you picking up 30 tonight?
Yeah, I got 60 days, but I've done about 3. It's cooking in there. I don't know anything.
Dang, we don't. Man, don't blame me for that. But 60 is a long time. Is there anybody that's going to get 30 today? All right, cool. And what about White? Does anybody just want to surrender just for today? All right. Anybody else? All right, cool. We got the just for today.
my name is Sonia, and I'm a recovering addict.
Hey, Sonia, love you.
Just for today, tell yourself.
So,
Just for today, my thoughts will be on my recovery, living and enjoying life without the use of drugs. Just for today,
so,
I will have faith in someone in A who believes in me and wants to help me in my recovery.
so,
Just for today, I will have a program. I will try to follow it to the best of my ability. Just for today, well, through NA, I will try to get a better perspective on my life. Just for today,
so,
I will be unafraid. My thoughts will be on my new associations, people who are not using, and who have found a new way of life. So long as I follow that way, I have nothing to fear.
All right. Before we do our circle, is anybody have a burning desire? Does anybody think that they feel like they have to use? All right, cool.